25 is not just a simple exercise. It stands as one of the European Union's most significant training events. It demonstrates under realistic conditions what the armed forces of EU member states can achieve together. The objective is clear: to test rapid response capabilities, assess the effectiveness of cooperation, and strengthen the robust military presence that the Union increasingly requires in the face of the future challenges. And those future challenges are diverse. In recent years, we have faced pandemics, hybrid and cyber warfare, waves of immigration, and for over 3 years now, a ruthless war has been raging at the doorstep of the European Union. This difficult experience has taught us one vital lesson: we cannot afford to stand still because history is passing us by. We must be the one to shape and control our world. It's not to say that it's a great honor for our country to host such an important event. In March, the Common Post-Exercise phase tested the EU's alert system and crisis management protocols. Now, in the lead phase, we are operating in the field with live firing, tactical maneuvers, and coordinated operations. The selected sites are perfectly suited to the purpose. The 24th Air Base and the Central Training Area provide the crucial infrastructure needed for complex mission and for synchronization of technical and human capabilities. The exercise is led by Euroforce, the EU's multinational military headquarters. Hungarian troops play an active role both in operational command and in the field. Let me highlight our Guilded Infantry Company carrying out their mission with modern equipment and confident professionalism. The cooperation we see today is not self-evident. It is the result of shared strategic thinking, mutual trust, and tremendous effort. The strategic compass adopted in 2022 brought EU defense policy to a new level. The goal is to ensure that the EU can not only react the threats, but also prevent them independently. MILEX represents the practical implementation of this vision. It is where a common European military will is being shaped. Hungary is not merely a bystander in this process. We are an initiator and an active contributor. Our participation carries not only professional military, but also political significance. It reflects our commitment to common European security and defense. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who contributed to the preparation and execution of this exercise. The professionalism of Europe's international partners and all supporting bodies, thanks to their collective efforts, MILEX 25 is a success. My deepest respect goes to the soldiers involved. They are the ones who bear the burden of securing our future and continuously demonstrate that the Europe is united. Thank you for your service and support. I am quite confident MILEX 25 has not only offered lessons learned, but also provided lasting value to our shared security system. Thank you for your attention.
General Burgundy, dear Gabor, Excellency, dear Delphine, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to address you today on the occasion of the European Union Crisis Management Exercise 2025. The exercise really represents the effort of all stakeholders that ensure success for our future endeavors. The military planning and conduct capability, the Eurocorps, and most important, the EU member states' armed forces that have been worked so hard. The member states' commitment and joint effort is enhancing EU's military readiness and preparedness to meet the evolving challenges of modern geopolitics and volatile security environment. This is more relevant than ever. The MILEX 25 testifies that dedication, collaboration and joint effort pay off Exercises like MILEX 25 transform our common vision into tangible progress. We are witnessing the effectiveness of the EU rapid deployment capacity, the key deliverable of the strategic compass. Having the EU rapid deployment capacity is a huge step forward, both in enhancing European strategic autonomy and developing our own crisis management capacity. This is our shared achievement, which will be even more enhanced through integrated advanced planning in the future. We are making EU a more autonomous and more credible security provider. We are working hard for nothing less than preserving peace and security for the European citizen. Even so the progress is remarkable, we have no time to lean back. We have actually a lot to do to further enhance EU readiness and preparedness. Besides our unwavering support to Ukraine, the EU has to spend more and spend together. This is not new but still valid. The question of how to ensure this is mentioned and well considered in the recently released white paper and the preparedness strategy. Now we have the necessary ends, ways and means to develop accordingly. The critical capability gaps require our immediate attention via vital investments and dedicated work. Improving air and missile defense, military mobility, heavy land systems, cutting-edge technologies and strategic enablers takes continuous and untiring efforts from all of us. Therefore, the next steps are very clear right in front of us. Unity and cooperation is key, and we are stronger shoulder to shoulder. A special thanks to the host, Papa Air Base, and all the involved contributors, soldiers and fellow workers for making this TV Day possible. To all of you, thanks for your attention and contribution to our joint effort.
So, 4 speakers, so we'll try to limit the time now. Let me first of all thank Hungarian friend for hosting us here in this exercise. And I know it takes a lot, because to receive a couple of thousand soldiers means that as a host nation you have to provide location, you need to provide water, electricity, lodging, etc., etc. And then we're not even talking about the use of your area, your training area. Because soldiers that are coming from several member states have to prepare for deployment once they arrive in the host nation. So the set-fit phase, as we call it, the combat effectiveness training, the force integration training will take place in your training areas. And that's a great effort. So again, thank you very much. Joyce, thank you very much. Commander Eurocorps, big commander with a good voice. And I'm really glad to have you on board in this endeavor, because you and the team actually are leading the force once deployed. And it's all about those soldiers in the front that will conduct the military activities and where the bullets could hit you. So they are doing the hard work. I'm glad that you are all here, so the chair of the PSC. Delphine, thank you very much for being here, the ambassadors, but also the mill reps and the people that are actually doing the work, because I know that there is many staff also coming from Brussels here who are writing the papers. And you are as important as the soldiers in the front. Because without a vision, without a policy, without the translation of this policy into actionable activities which can be conducted by the NPCC, by the Eurocorps, by the UPG, we cannot be successful. So again, thank you for being here. I wish all of us a very good day, an informative day, and keep your eyes open, because then you can see what it takes to deploy the RDC. You have seen the last 2 exercises where we were already deployed. Here you can see what it takes to deploy. Thank you very much. Dear Chairwoman, dear Chairman, ambassadors, generals, admirals, distinguished guests.
join the previous speakers in welcoming you here in the airbase, Papa Air Base in Hungary. Many thanks for accepting the invitation from the EUMS for coming and also providing many boots on the ground. Here, alongside our European soldiers, you will experience at first hand what RTC means and how complex its employment is. I hope that when you leave back to Brussels this evening, you will carry these two impressions with you. The first is that a deployed FHQ initial element of the deployed FHQ initial elements and some of their capabilities. And the second is the huge logistical, collective, and above all, human effort that this deployment to Hungary for MILEX 25 represents. The motto for this exercise that we have agreed on is, "You will be our son." And our son, as you remember, is reception, staging, and onward movement. Usually it's not great things to show, but actually to do what we are supposed to do. This is a crucial part always of any deployment. So I will break this down into two following topics. One, I will tell you a little bit about the MILEX in facts and figures, and then the second one will be about a little bit a flavor of the challenges we faced and the road ahead. So first of all, the numbers and 2 dates. There are about 850 soldiers that are participating in MILEX 25 right now, including 200 at the balcony training area where we did a little bit of initial integration. There are 220 members of the Eurocorps who are participating in this exercise. We have about 250 military vehicles from all of the 13 participating nations. We used all three modes of transportation to get here, to deploy here basically. So in total we had 6 flights, 23 road convoys, and 2 train echelons. We also have received about 900,000 euros, the budget allocated to the Eurocorps via MPCC and the European Peace Facility Committee for the conduct of the MILEX. This is a great success. This is the first time we're able to get this money a little bit up front to be able to pay for some of the authorized spendings. And the 2 dates, my first soldiers arrived here on March 17, and the last soldiers are planned to leave April 16. Just to show you that the exercise is usually a long-term endeavor. And we have also a real-life distraction, the foot and mouth disease. It forced us to review our redeployment plan and start planning for the decontamination that we have to do for all the vehicles that will be leaving the exercise. Now, MILEX 25, what logistical and operational challenges did Eurocorps face as the FHQ, and what are the prospects for the EUBG 26? First, it provided us with a really invaluable practical experience that will allow us to be the better prepared as an FHQ for our next assignment as the FHQ for the Spanish-led EUBG in the second half of the year. Second, fulfilling the role of an FHQ presented 2 major challenges for us. One is the logistical deployment in Europe, and I remind you all that we are in peacetime and in a friendly environment. And the second one is still the ongoing topic of creation of the CIS network architecture. So for the deployment, unfortunately, the average is about 40 days in lead in time between the movement request and its authorization within the European Union. And the Eurocorps obviously was at the heart of this logistical maneuver, deconflicting routes and staging delivery. Military Schengen does not exist yet, and this is something that we talk about, but I think we should strive to make it happen. Then there are CIS challenges still. The MILEX 25 means integrating and communicating 3 data management systems from strategic down to the tactical levels. The necessary interoperability between national systems, those of the Eurocorps, but also of the UMN, the MPCC, is currently only partially achieved, requiring organizational measures to reduce the flow of information exchanges. However, this type of deployment makes a major contribution to the identification of those potential improvements which can be eventually implemented. Once again, my Eurocorps is at the forefront of these complex challenges. Finally, what are the ideas for the EUBG 26-27 and beyond? As I mentioned, we still have a number of challenges to meet in order to make the EUBG even more operational and effective. MILEX 25 also serves as a lab for planning MILEX 26, which will be under the Spanish lead. This will be an opportunity to strengthen our communication systems between the various levels. It is also an excellent opportunity to test and perfect our training concepts, such as the development of generic deployment plan and the review of the command post concept. This exercise also has the virtue of reinforcing the interoperability between the member states' armies, which is an objective we still need to continue honing. It provides an opportunity to take stock of the current situation and set the training objectives for MILEX 26. In conclusion, I would like to thank Ambassador Delfin Pronk and the chairman of the PSC, and also General van der Laan, my friend, the Director General of the EUMS and the preferred OHQ commander for their support, as well as Hungary, our host nation, General, and Germany, the framework nation for this EUBG. The Eurocorps FHQ and its EUBG are prepared in case of a need you decide as politicians to use it. While walking around, please do not hesitate to show your appreciation to the FHQ commander, Major General Geoffroy de la Rosière, who is really behind all this that you're going to see today, and all its subordinated elements empowered by our great European soldiers. So thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you all a great day. Thank you.